Hey guys, should be a quick one today. We're going to be throwing a new speedometer gear in my 1998 Jeep Cherokee. And we'll hop inside and I'll tell you why we need to do that and what we need to do. On the inside here we can see that we're sitting at 254,000 miles. So it's been around the block a few times, but I think the actual mileage is a little bit higher. Because when I'm going 70, the speedometer actually reads 60. I've got a GPS off to the side that tells me I'm going 70, and I know that's accurate, but the speedometer reads 60. And it's off by 10 miles per hour here. But if the speedometer says about 45, I'm actually going about 51, 52. So what that means basically is when I'm off by 10 over here and a little less than that over here, it's off by the same percentage the whole way through the range. And what that tells me is that the needle on the gauge is positioned correctly. If it was off by, say, 5 miles per hour exactly throughout the whole range, like if you're going 20 and it shows 25, and if you're going 70 and it shows 75, that would mean the needle on the gauge itself is seated incorrectly. And that's a bit more of a complicated issue to fix. For us, it's easy. We're off by a constant percentage, so we know it's the speedometer gear. And there's a couple reasons you would need a new speedometer gear. And to explain those reasons, we're now underneath the car, and we're looking at the transfer case here, which is right behind the transmission, right behind the engine. So right here is your vehicle speed sensor, and then right on the inside of the housing, on the other end of the speed sensor, is your speedometer gear. Now, that's effectively counting rotations of the drive shaft. Because in stock form, for one rotation of the drive shaft, that should give you a certain rotation of the tires. You should move a certain distance. So when it's counting the rotations of the drive shaft, it's able to calculate your speed based off of that. Now, and that's also why if you're driving in the mud or in the snow or low traction, if you spin your tires, you'll see your speedometer kind of rise up on its own, even though you're not going that fast. That's just because it's counting the rotations of the drive shaft, and the drive shaft is spinning faster while your tires slip. But there are a couple things that could make this start to read incorrectly. If you put on larger tires than stock, tires with a larger outer diameter are going to have a larger circumference. So for each rotation of the wheel, you're going to go a longer distance. Meaning that if you put on larger tires, your speedometer will read faster than you're actually going. That's not the case for me because these are still the stock size tires. But the other thing would be if you change the gearing in your axles. So now, for a given rotation of the drive shaft, the axles going out to the wheels spin at a different rate. So now, in my case, someone put in some 307 gearing, and I believe it used to be 355 from the factory. So, now for one rotation of the drive shaft, the tires spin a little bit farther than they used to. Now I could change the gearing in the axles back to the original gearing, but that would be like $600, and I get pretty good gas mileage with these gears, and I do a lot of driving on the road. And now that we know why the speedometer is reading incorrectly, we have to replace the speedometer gear. And you might be wondering, what size do I need, everything like that. You can just look online and find there's usually charts for your vehicle and your year and everything. You can find somewhere how many teeth you need on a gear. For me, I'm swapping in a 29 tooth gear. So let's get into it. First things first, we're going to have to get this connector off. You have to slide this red tab downward to unlock it, and then the connector should pop right off. Easy peasy. And now to get the sensor and the gear out, it's just this one 13mm bolt right here. And that's actually the only tool you need for this job. It's that easy. 13mm wrench or socket, and that's it. And with that bolt out, this little retainer bracket comes right out. This holds it and keeps this from rotating. And then this guy should just pull right on out. We take a little bit of wiggling, and there we go. There's the old speedometer gear, and there's the speed sensor. Alright, out from under the Jeep and back up in the garage, we've got the speedometer sensor, the original gear, and the new speedometer gear. And just for comparison's sake, if you look at the bottom here, this one's labeled as a 29 tooth gear, that's what's going in. And this one, I think it's the original one, is a 34 tooth gear. And you can tell all the teeth here are kind of rounded off. This has a lot of wear on it. It was still working, but I think this might have been in there for the whole 250 plus thousand miles. So, it's not rocket science here. You literally just grab this, yank it out, and then you shove this one in there until it snaps into place. I'll do that off camera because I need both hands, but also a good thing to do is the O-ring here. This is what seals the joint, the transmission there, so when this gets shoved back into the transfer case, this O-ring keeps all the oil inside. And when you pull it out, there's a good chance you'll tear it, especially if this is all original and it's 20-something years old. So I do have a brand new O-ring here that I'm going to throw in there and toss it all back together. And there we go. That only took a few seconds. This guy pops right out, that one pops in, O-ring's on. And I did spread a little bit of oil around the O-ring because that will help lubricate it as we're inserting it back into the transfer case. It'll keep it from tearing on the edge of the hole in the transfer case. So, that's all good to go. So now we need to make sure we have it spun the right direction, because for different size gears, you can see there's some numbers on here. For different size gears, you need to rotate it to a different point. As you can tell, the center shaft here is not in the center of the speed sensor. So the way you rotate this will change how this gear meshes with the gear inside the transfer case. So you need to have it pointed to the correct one. So you can see right here, that says 26 to 31. And the numbers on here are for different size gears. So you've got 39 to 45 there. Over here you've got 26 to 31, and you've got 32 to 38. So basically, since this is a 29 tooth gear, we're paying attention to this 26 to 31 here. And you'll notice there's these 4 notches going around here. And that little bracket with the 1 bolt going through it, that can go into any 2 of these notches. So there's 4 different positions you can choose as you're installing. And the number that you want, for us, again, 26 to 31, we're going to want this pointed straight at the ground, or as close to it as we can get. And then that will make sure that this gear meshes up with the gear that drives it just right. Alright, we've got the speed sensor back in the car with the new Speedo gear, and you'll notice it's rotated a little bit clockwise from where it was, and that's to get our numbers pointed at the ground. So now it is time to take it for a test drive and make sure everything works. Alright, perfect guys, everything works great. So that's a wrap on this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.